The Football Show on Off the Ball.
With Paddy Power, the greatest football partnership since Shearer and Owen.
I'm prepared to do anything I can to play for my country again.
Do it then. What about your start to the game?
It wasn't bad, was it?
Why should an honest answer be a mistake?
How can a modern day manager not have a mobile phone?
Why should he?
Now, welcome back. So, Champions League evening in progress. Half-time still in North London. It is 0-0 between Spurs and Leipzig. Meanwhile, Atalanta 2-0 up at home to Valencia. So, in control of that tie, Atalanta, Valencia away from home this evening. Damien Delaney alongside me. We have in front of us Manchester City against West Ham. Already you're getting antsy. You're like, switch over from this. Get this out of my face.
I mean, it's one of the most run-of-the-mill games you could see. I mean, everyone knew what was happening. So nobody bothered showing up to the Etihad, really.
Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne with the goals in that game. So Man City 2, West Ham 0. David Moyes is going to struggle to turn that ship around. They are in the relegation zone on 24 points. We have Norwich, who are gone. We have Watford on 24, West Ham on 24, Villa on 25, Bournemouth, who've turned things around a bit, on 26, and we'll throw in Brighton as well on 27. So they're all within 3 of West Ham and Watford, to be fair. You have Crystal Palace on 30, who should be fine. So Brighton, Bournemouth, Villa, West Ham, Watford.
I mean, West Ham's fixture list I saw today is unbelievable coming up.
Horrendous coming up, yeah.
I mean, it's you couldn't pick a worse run of games.
Nil point will be the story
you
for
think
February.
So.
Yeah.
You think so.
That'll be an important time, actually. I wonder, do you get together as a squad? I think it's something like City tonight, obviously. They have Liverpool away. They have Manchester.
Chelsea coming up soon as well.
United, Chelsea, yeah. I wonder, do you get together as a group? Maybe it's... I'll put it to you. Maybe you're just admitting defeat and kind of setting yourself up for defeat. But do you get together as a group and say, this is going to be tough, let's everybody keep our heads here?
Exactly, because what you tend to do in this situation is you go, we've got, 11 games left. Or 12, I think they've got left at the minute. Okay, we've got 6 terrible ones, and we need to get to like 36 points. Because I know this year a lot of people say, no, it's going to be more than 36, you know, and everyone always says that, you're going to need 38, 39, you don't. It usually ends up being between 34 and 36, you know. And you'd like to think that Watford would pick up a point a game. West Ham goes, we need 12 points, which means we've 6 games to get 12 points. If you don't take anything out of the other games. Yeah. And that is a massive mountain to climb. And if you haven't got strong characters in your changing room and you haven't got a strong manager who can... Oh my God, Tottenham. Oh, Tottenham just nearly scored. Great save of that goalkeeper, Gulaski.
It was a cross which went all the way through.
Yeah, missed everyone. A great breakaway with Tottenham. They got 4 in the attack. Everyone's missed. Oh, it's probably come off the defender, actually. And then it broke. Cross from Aurier, low and hard, and it comes off the Leipzig defender, great save, and then it breaks out to Aurier, who shanks it wide. So the thoughts you're talking about right there, going back to the West Ham, sorry, if thoughts start creeping in and people start going into the changing room going, oh, we're in trouble here, or like, geez, you know, we got to get 12 points from our last 6 games, I mean, those people just need to be shot on the spot. Because
it's a delicate balance between, let's stay calm, even though we're losing all these games.
Yeah.
At the same time, you don't want to give everyone permission to lose those games. You want to be saying, come on, we need to actually get something.
You're still trying to want to say, look, we need 12 points from 12 games. We're capable of that, definitely, and I think West Ham are capable of that. But I mean, when you look at 6 of them, it's going to be extremely difficult. But like, you know, you start shooting a few people on the spot if they start talking that type of way, where they're saying, oh, well, that's just in trouble, we're gone, or, you know, we're finished. Because, you know, even though you say Crystal Palace there are safe, they're on 30. They've been on the slide. They haven't won since Boxing Day or St. Stephen's Day. So, like, I mean,
they're not.
No, they haven't. You see, so I mean, they're on the slide massively. So you're saying they're out of it, and they probably will be okay. But you know, I think they might just be okay. And all the other teams might end up being, you know, 34 might save you this year. So you know, so you got to stay positive like that.
For people just tuning in or people just getting the Football Show podcast, I should say that you really fancied Leipzig before this game. And first 45 minutes, you've been impressed with them.
Yeah, I think they've been a fantastic team to play. They play the same tempo Liverpool play at, but they're technically better. They pass the ball better, they move it through. The midfield 3 are technically better on the ball. They retain possession an awful lot better, and they find pockets of space. Now, granted, it's the first time I've seen them this year, so you know, maybe this is one of the best games I've ever played, so I have to be a bit kind of cautious there.
Sure.
But I would say definitely that they're fantastic football inside.
It doesn't look like they're playing the game of their life here. It looks like
they're top of the Bundesliga or near top of the Bundesliga. They're obviously doing something right. And
Nagelsmann is obviously an extraordinary operator. Like, he's still only 32 years of age, and they're playing in what feels like a very modern, incisive way. Good football.
Yeah.
Everybody knows their jobs. Spurs really struggling to get to grips with them.
Yeah, you can be critical of Spurs. They're missing the two best players, and they can't seem to get up the pitch. They can't string a few passes together. They look a little bit flimsy in midfield, but when your midfield is Lo Celso and Harry Winks, you're obviously not going to have a steely midfield. But they're holding up okay. They're doing the best, and I think this is the most Tottenham probably could have expected, if I'm being honest. Yeah, and this could be a real Jose Mourinho, Inter Milan at Barcelona type of performance. But I think if he gets a win tonight or comes through this tie, I think it could be one of Jose's greatest achievements. I really mean that. We look at the players and the squad that he has. And the team that he's up against, really, really forward-thinking coach, modern coach, innovative coach. I think this could be one of Jose's greatest achievements.
So, a few bits to talk about while we're keeping an eye on this game. Arsene Wenger has come up with a great idea. I don't know why nobody thought of this. So Arsene Wenger, who is Chief of Global Football Development at FIFA since November, he wants to change the offside law so that a player will stay onside if any part of their body with which they can score a goal, in practice this will be their foot or their knee, but generally their foot, is level or behind the relevant defender. So I guess in a really good example, every part of your body is ahead of the defender, but the standing foot you're pushing off is just level or just behind, as Leipzig whack a free over the bar, and you'll be deemed onside. So in effect, you could be, well clear of the defender, and you're still deemed to be onside. It's the opposite of the rule now. It's weighting it towards the striker. The reason I said I wish someone had thought of this sooner is that literally, whilst we were playing out Harry Gregg last night, Damien Delaney turned to me and said, "Do you know what I've been thinking for offside?" And I don't know, is Arsene Wenger bugging the room? But he's saying something pretty similar to what you suggested.
It was pretty much, when I read it today, I couldn't have a giggle.
Now, he wants this in by Euro 2020.
Yeah, it's an easy change. One, it definitely favours the attacker, because I think the offside rule at the moment is stifling games of football. You want a product where, exciting games. And if you're having, I won't say perfectly good goals, but, the Giroud goal against Man United, for me, is a perfectly good goal, that would have made the tie absolutely breathtaking and really had it. I'm not saying teams should be given goals just to make games exciting, but realistically, it's heavily weighted in the favour of the defenders. And I think, for the sake of football, it would be worth doing what Arsene Wenger is saying there.
I think it's more as well in keeping with the spirit of the law as it was intended, i.e. to stop somebody taking the absolute mick.
Yeah.
But, somebody having to have their whole body onside seems a bit punitive.
Yeah, and I also think as well, you have to draw a line somewhere when it comes to VAR, right? And when you draw the line where Arsene Wenger is saying you're going to draw, you're still going to have people to complain, because if someone's heel, the centre forward's running towards goal and his heel is, kind of almost level with the defender's heel, you're going to have to draw a line somewhere, and it's going to be like millimetres again, and people complain, that line's not straight, or this isn't that. Yeah. So you're going to have complaints, but
the point of this is not to take away the fact that with VAR there is always going to be millimetres at play.
Exactly.
Like that can't be eradicated now, because you have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
The point, as you said last night, and as Wenger says here, is to weight it more towards the attacker.
Yeah, because you're seeing good goals, perfectly good goals in my opinion, being ruled out, and games are being affected by that. If a player's armpit is a millimetre behind a defender's heel, I mean, you shouldn't lose a goal for that.
And it's not what the offside law was meant to protect
Definitely
against.
Definitely not. It's prevent goal hanging and things like that, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So, there's a couple of issues with that. Sometimes if a centre forward is running full pace, his body's obviously going to be, forward at an angle, and his feet will be onside, but his body could almost be a yard offside, especially if the defender stood still and he's upright.
Yeah.
And I suppose sometimes if I'm just thinking as a defender here, that if a ball was being played and my shoulders are up and I could see the centre forward here, and I look and he's out of my, peripheral vision, and he's a little bit ahead of me, I might actually go, oh, he's offside there, so I'm going to hold the line. and then I look down, and because he's running full out, his feet are level with me. So I mean, it's a minor problem for a defender. I mean, if it's that close, you probably shouldn't be playing offside anyway.
Correct.
And usually, if you clock something that late, it's too late anyway. You're not going to be able to recover and get back and do it. Yeah. But you could kind of stand there and stick your hand up and say he's offside. So look, it's not perfect, but I think VAR isn't the problem. It's the rule is a problem, and Wenger seems to be addressing that.
Yeah. And it's not like Wenger is nobody just now. He's the chief of global football development at FIFA. Yeah. This is going to be discussed when the IFAB meet in Belfast, interestingly. They're in Belfast on the 29th of February. So we'll see. Be a big change for Euro 2020, but I don't think anybody would...
No one would be upset with it.
Playing.
No, I don't think anybody would be.
Somebody makes the point that Son played with a broken arm for basically the full 90 minutes against Aston Villa. Impressive enough. Wants to know your attitude to playing through injury in the main. Were you injury prone?
No, not at all, not really.
You're well put together.
Listen, all my injuries that I had were contact. And I wasn't a soft tissue kind of guy, or I wasn't a strain or a pull or a tight hamstring kind of guy. Yeah. I always just kind of play, just stiffness, and just kind of carried on through that. Have they got a penalty here at Leipzig? Or something interesting has happened. Anyway, we'll just, as this unfolds, because I think Ben Davies has pulled somebody down, and it looks like it could well be a penalty.
He's been given a yellow card, so
it looks like a free kick on the edge of the box. It's very close. Maybe VAR is looking at where it is.
Well, the Leipzig player is in the box.
It's a penalty, yeah, it is a penalty. So he hasn't even gone to VAR.
Penalty for Leipzig.
Yeah, so
56th minute.
Sorry, I was talking about my injuries there, and I cut that out the corner of my eye.
No, it's all right. Yeah. I mean, it's always the way. Spurs 0, Leipzig 0. Leipzig have been the better team. 57 minutes on the clock, and big moment coming up for Leipzig for Spurs as well. I'm not sure who's taking the penalty.
Timo Werner's taking it.
Must be Timo, yeah.
Yeah.
He scored 25 goals this season in all competitions for Leipzig. He is a man in demand, and now he's got a penalty. Referee is telling Hugo Lloris, do not come off your line. He's watching you.
He's getting a good lecture here, isn't he?
You. I'm watching you. Don't do it.
VAR's watching you.
Yeah, he could be speaking any language there to Hugo, and Hugo knows what he means. Here we go, big moment.
Oh, what a penalty.
Yeah, goal.
Low and hard to the goalkeeper's right.
Can't save that.
That was just absolutely laces. Daisy cutter just right in the bottom corner. And I think they've more than deserved this, to be honest with you. It's just unfortunate that it's come by way of a penalty and not. So straight away now, if I'm a Spurs player, you got to reset your mind and refocus yourself and say, okay, it's only one. Okay, we're still in this tie. We still have another one to go. The last thing Spurs need to do now is panic, and this is where you want your leaders, your big players, your big personalities, your captain.
Who are their leaders at the moment?
I don't know, man. There must be Alderweireld, obviously. It would be the main man, but you just got to say to everyone, keep calm. Let's just keep plugging away, and if we can get out of this 1-0 down tonight, the tie's alive. But if we go chasing it now, yeah, it's a Stonewall penalty. If we go, Ben Davies just would look like he tried to toe poke a ball away from the Leipzig player, and Leipzig player just got there first, and he almost just kind of, his knee kind of dragged his hip down. So you just want to say stay calm, unlike the Bayern game where they lost their heads altogether and they went, oh my God, we're losing, we need to get back in this next 5 minutes, and everyone just forgot about the game plan and ran off. This is where they just need to stay settled now, and maybe you're kind of thinking in your head now, or I would be thinking, Leipzig might be happy at 1-0, so they might start going a little bit defensive and not playing at the same tempo that they were played at, and they're happy to go back to Germany at 1-0, and we'll reassess it if we do get out here at 1-0.
Yeah, okay. So in short, because I'm going to get on to Atletico now, and we'll get Mark Lawrenson up on the phone, injuries, having that dilemma of playing through stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you take into consideration is, can it get worse? If I play, can it get worse? And if it's like an impact injury, and realistically, a couple of painkillers or an injection or something can get you through it, it's fine. Or can you strap it to get through the game? Then you can. Then it just becomes about your pain threshold. How much can you take? But ultimately, the clubs want you to be fit. And they're not going to put you at risk where you're going to be out for, potentially 3 weeks, and then playing you're going to be out for, 6 weeks.
I guess the other dilemma you have to confront is if I'm at 80%, if I'm at 90%, am I a liability to the team here? If can I turn the way I need to turn today?
That's a very fair point, and manager will ask you that beforehand.
And you lie and say, I'm fine.
No, I think you'd have to say to them, say, no, I can get through it.
In a big game, you lie.
Yeah, you say, I can get through this. But realistically, if you're an honest player and you know that like you're at 50 or 60% and you know you're going to cost the team, then obviously you would, step aside and say, look, the other guy needs to play. But if the manager says, look, you at 80% is better than the option that I have, then I'm taking you. So that's where that is really. But ultimately, it just can it get worse? And I presume Son had to have surgery on his arm, which means that he's obviously had surgery, he can't play tonight. Yeah. And it's not something that you could kind of, put a protective plaster on, have the surgery at the end of the season. It was obviously not a great break. And there's obviously pins or plates gone in it, which means that he definitely can't play now. Yeah. So
brings us back to the days when Cantona played with his broken arm.
Yeah, but look, if it was a straightforward break and you can just, it's one of those where you just put a cast on it, it's going to heal itself, you can get away with that. Yeah. But if he's had surgery and he's had a pin or a plate or something put in it,
sure, it's fine.
Yeah.
Cantona playing with his broken arm looked very cool.
It did, didn't it? The collar up.
It looked amazing. Here's Andy Robertson, by the way. He had a few words afterwards about the game against Atletico. You need to stick in your headphones there.
Yeah.
Like you said, they've celebrated as if they've won the tie after the game. So, look, let's see. We've got a couple of weeks to, we've got Premier League business to take care of, and then, like you said, they're coming back to Anfield. So, we know our fans will be there. We know we'll be there. So it's up to them to come as well.
So that was Robertson. Here's Jurgen Klopp. This was in the post-match press comments.
I really don't. It's obviously part of football. I don't like that. Obviously, the plan was tonight get Sadio out of the game with a yellow card, and then impossible. I was a little afraid that his opponent would go down now, even if Sadio only takes a deep breath or whatever. So, and then I didn't want to have that situation, so that's why we took him off. I have no problem with the result. So if you're 1-0 down at half time, you would say in a normal game, you would say, okay, we change this and this and that, and then and we would give it a try, and we give it a try 100% in the next game as well. I saw so many happy faces tonight from Atletico and all that stuff. I get that because it's a big win, but it's not over yet, and that's the only thing I feel. And there was so many. The atmosphere, I think it was difficult for the ref to deal with the atmosphere tonight. I don't say the header was because of that. They just misjudged it, so that the throw-in was because of that. They just didn't see it or whatever. But a lot of other situations where after 30 minutes, I think 3 Atletico players were already really on the ground and not injured. A ref just needs to feel the game a little bit more, how I think. And it was clear the crowd wants to help tonight, really, the team in a different way. Our crowd helps us, but it still helps, obviously. And that's, of course, makes it then, it's a very emotional game, very emotional. And we had to try to be really calm to make right decisions. And I liked, how I said, a lot of parts of our game, really. But of course, we have to be better in the final third, and we will try it.
So that was Jurgen Klopp. We have Mark Lawrenson with us from Morocco, I'm told. Hello?
Good evening.
Morocco.
Yeah. Well, it's half term, isn't it? Marrakesh and all that. Where else are you going to go? That's only 3.5 hours if you want a bit of sun. But what a good place Morocco is.
Yeah,
well, Marrakesh.
I was there a couple of years ago. Do you know what? I have a restaurant recommendation I'm going to text you afterwards, which is unbelievable.
Well, I tell you, it could be unbelievable. It could be the best in the world. I'm coming back tomorrow morning.
All right, well, it wasn't that good. It was grand.
Okay. Can you remember the name?
Les Jardins.
I'm staying in the hotel.
No, it's not a hotel as well, is it?
Yeah, it's Les Jardins de la Medina in the Casbah.
Describe the interior of the restaurant. What colour mosaic tiles are there?
Oh, do me a favour. I've only ever seen them when I've had a couple. I can't remember. It's very homely. There's a fire in there and everything. It's quite sort of dark, but it's quite romantic if you're with the right person.
Yeah, I think that could be it. That's incredible.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Did you watch the game last night?
Yeah, I saw enough of it.
Okay.
I think, sometimes, because Liverpool keep winning, and then all of a sudden when they lose, everyone goes, oh, well, they didn't play particularly well, which they didn't. And quite a few of them were off. But, I never fancied Liverpool to go and win because Atletico and Simeone, especially at home, They love this kind of fixture. We know they've struggled for goals this season in La Liga, but in terms of setting up his team to be kind of very obdurate and very difficult to beat, this is Simeone. This is what he does, and he's lost the kind of quality he had at the top end, the striking end of the pitch. But by my, can really make it very, very tough for the opposition. And you know what? I would say to you that Atletico have got a better chance of a positive result at Anfield than Barcelona had last year.
Yeah, we were talking a bit earlier on, and we just played a couple of clips of Andy Robertson and Jurgen Klopp there as well, and they definitely got under Liverpool's skin. We're wondering, were Liverpool maybe not taken aback, but how well did they prepare for that, we wondered? You know, that it's going to be that kind of horrible evening, because I was surprised they were talking about players diving and, the gamesmanship that really is just par for the course at this stage of the competition. Yeah,
I think Jurgen there is just talking, maybe hoping that the referee for the home game is actually listening. It's not kind of sour grapes, because it's, Simeone, he's always done it. He does it when he plays against Barcelona. He does it when they play against Real, which is obviously the dark for them. It's part and parcel of the way that he sees football. Any possible slight advantage that he can take or get, he will do so. Whereas in the past, obviously, Griezmann and all those kind of players that he had up front were absolutely brilliant, and he could kind of play a sort of war of attrition and then suddenly get a chance, and Griezmann or somebody else would go on and score for them. So it's different now. But, watching them kind of going to Anfield, 2 or 3 weeks away in March, in the second week in March, you're kind of thinking they might nick a goal, and then Liverpool have to score 3.
Damien,
and that's a tough thing. Sorry, Damien, if Damien's back to come, but that's a tough order against a team that are quite happy just to sit there and say, come on then, come and beat us. Well,
Damien, you were saying earlier, tall order to the point of being almost good night.
Yeah, I think that, if Atletico score in the tie, especially if they score in the second half, I can't imagine, Liverpool digging out 3 goals. Mark, do you agree that there's a beauty in what Atletico do? Not the diving and all the other carry-on stuff, but the way they set up, and they're not just like a sit in there and defend tin hat type of team. They're so efficient on the breakaway, and when they do get good possession, they did pin Liverpool in at times last night. Not very long, but do you think there's a beauty in it? Do you respect it? What's your opinion on it?
Oh yeah, Damien, total respect, because just to set your team up in that way. Basically, in any football game, and certainly the higher the level you go, but if you have players, who know exactly what's expected to them, know exactly the way that the opposition operate, but also, and I think this is really important, are capable of keeping the ball. I think that's the king thing here, which is everybody can defend, everybody can get numbers back behind the ball, everybody can put the bodies in the way, head it, kick it, call it, whatever you will, but then actually to be able to do that and spoil completely what the opposition is trying to do, but also be able to get the ball down and play, that is completely different.
Yeah. The reason I asked that is because, a lot of the TV coverage here, Graham and, Brian Kerr last night were a little bit critical, Joe, is that fair to say, of Atletico?
Yeah, I'm not sure Brian Kerr was as much, but I certainly think quite a few of the pundits, Graham definitely looked at it and just said it's pretty hideous stuff. I don't think, to be fair, he didn't say he didn't respect it, but certainly did not enjoy it, that's for sure. Did not enjoy watching it the way you two did, maybe.
Yeah, well, I think the thing with that is that Graham is obviously frustrated, and purely and simply before the game, that's what Simeone wanted. He wanted a performance from his team that was going to completely frustrate the opposition, which he did. And I think the thing with Klopp is he was kind of a little bit sanguine insofar as, look, it ain't the end of the world, and we've only got beat 1-0. Maybe in a different or a one-off game at half-time he would have changed it and said, well, come on, boys, let's absolutely totally go for this, and who knows what had happened. But, they got beat 1-0. so they have to completely deal with that. But it's fascinating second leg. It'll be absolutely fascinating because if Atletico manage the first 20 minutes when you get the Liverpool surge at home, Champions League night, yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. If they manage to cope with that, then it becomes a really interesting fixture.
Because Simeone will definitely be pushing the idea of the same type of tactics and things, hoping to get the Anfield crowd to turn on Atletico as opposed to supporting the Liverpool team. So I think it's important. I think it's really critical that the Liverpool players stay focused on the task in hand, stay focused on the game and not get distracted a little by this. But the crowd also, and the manager as well, if he starts ranting and raving at the fourth official, the players will see that, the crowd will see that, and everyone will get a little bit amped up. I think you just need to accept what's coming. You know what's going to come, so just deal with it in a better manner.
That's an interesting point on the crowd, yeah.
I was just going to say, the thing is, Damien, with that is that Liverpool don't have this in the Premier League. And they don't have it, not because obviously most of the teams aren't as good as Atletico, but teams will try and stop Liverpool playing, but they don't try and stop them in this way. They're probably a little bit more kind of respectful of the rules, the team that plays against Liverpool in the Premier League, but Atletico just know they push and they push and they push and they push the referee all the time, and try and get away with absolutely everything. And by the way, they do it from the first minute. They don't sort of do it, if they're 1-0 up after 60 minutes, thinking right, we've got 30 minutes to make sure we hang on. They do it from the first minute. It's just the way that Simeone has his team playing.
But just to be clear though, like they're not just that. They're that almost does them a disservice. Like the real brilliance is how amazingly well they're organised.
Yeah, but you see that's the difference. With Mark's point there, in the Premier League, teams can't do it because nobody does that 24/7. That's not in most teams' DNA. Usually, you're switching to that type of mentality for a one-off game to try and do it, and it's impossible to do. Atletico do this week in, week out, day in, day out. That's he signs players for this job, so they're quite comfortable in doing it. And the key to it is on the turnover, how efficient they were on the break. Even when they lost it, they never went gung-ho. So when they won the ball back off Liverpool, you never saw midfield players sprinting beyond the front players or full-backs joining in before the ball was secured. They always made sure the ball was secured. They got a couple of passes off, and then they edged their way forward. It wasn't complete gung-ho stuff like I'm seeing from Tottenham tonight a little bit, because they're trying to replicate what Atletico did last night, but they just don't have the same discipline.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing as well is that players who sign for Simeone know that if they perform in that team, and obviously primarily in the league, but eventually in the Champions League, they get moved on.
Yeah.
And I think that's how he sells it to them. He gets them in and goes, look, if you, Aguero was there. How long ago when Aguero played for Atletico, they've got so many players who've gone through the ranks, and actually the transfers have all been gone, and so all gone on and been better players. But the other thing I think as well is if you look at Jurgen Klopp, I would think generally nearly every single player that he's had at his disposal in his time at Liverpool, and the ones that he's brought in, he's made them all better players. Apart from, obviously, you'd have to go to somebody like Karius, who basically was no good anyway, unfortunately. But every single player he's made better. He's made good players into very good into outstanding, and outstanding players into world-class players. But Simeone's done the same insofar as he's improved all these players. And surely, that's what Mourinho used to do. We might think nowadays, obviously, he's not quite the same Mourinho, but that's what these top managers do, is that they make their players better all the time.
Well, it's going to be a hell of a second leg at Anfield, that's for sure. Before you go, who is Mark Lawrenson's Player of the Year?
Oh, crikey. Well, what do you mean the year?
The season.
It's got to be the season.
The season.
Van Dijk.
Yeah. There's a real Jordan Henderson campaign underway.
Yeah, I know that. I get that. But I think a lot of that is to do with the fact that Jordan really became at Liverpool. He became a bit of a subject of a load of booing from supporters, because they kept saying, he plays sideways, he plays backwards, all those kind of things. But he's very, very much a team player, and he's had a really good last 2 or 3 months. But I have to say to you, if you're a Liverpool fan and you watch Liverpool play on a regular basis, there's one player that you do not want them to be without. And I'm sorry, Jordan, but it's not you, it's Virgil.
Yeah. I'm with you.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, you can't really argue with that.
Well, you can.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to. I'm kind of with you on that. I find it hard to even play devil's advocate on that one. There's at least 3 people already wondering what's your most recent film that you've seen.
Well, listen, I've not been. Like, I've been away and stuff, okay, but I'm going to go and watch Parasite.
Yeah,
now,
I think we all have to.
We all have to go and watch it, but you know what we all have to do? We have to all forget about reading about it in the paper or talking to people who've gone to see the film, and you basically got to turn up, blank canvas, and go and just watch it and take it in. But if you're talking to Tom, Dick and Harry, apparently, it's not quite the same film, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it doesn't make sense, but I'm intrigued.
It's expectations, obviously.
Are you talking about expectation or some kind of spoiler?
So, you know, if you talk about 1917, you say, oh, well, it's a story about these 2 lads and they've got to get this message through and all that kind of stuff and whatever. But I'm told by somebody who knows something about it, unlike myself, is that you just go, you blank your mind out with anything, you just go and watch this film.
Okay.
And apparently it's much better then when you actually just go there and think, what's all this about?
Okay, so I won't be reading any plot summaries, I'll just go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it's rubbish, just don't blame me.
I think the Oscars have more to answer for than you, to be fair.
Well, just.
Listen, thanks a mil. Enjoy, safe flight home and all that.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Parasite.
Well, good job he said that, because I genuinely don't even know what it's about. I haven't read anything on it or heard.
Well, don't.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, okay. Good advice there from Mark.
That is good advice.
I was going to argue with him about the whole Jordan Henderson thing, like...
Well, why didn't you?
Yeah, because you were kind of going, you know what I mean? I thought we were under pressure for time, like, and I thought, I'll leave that one.
We'll always make time for an argument.
And I didn't want to upset Mark's holiday as well, you know?
Let the man have
It's his last night of his holiday.
Oh, so when you just turned to me and went, yeah, no, I can't argue with that.
No, because you said that. You went, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue. It was a little bit like you wanted to, like, you know...
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But I will always make time for you to argue. I mean, Damien Delaney arguing with Mark Lawrenson. I mean, we could.
No, I think it was definitely.
We would have stayed around for that.
I think it was definitely more like, you know, what he said was true. That Liverpool, the one player they probably could not have is Van Dijk, but like, I think he just deserves it, Jordan, for his work rate. He sets it. He's the beating heart of Liverpool. You know, he sets the tempo in the midfield and he drives other players on. Obviously, Virgil is supremely skilled and calm and brilliant, but they're just. Jordan is Liverpool kind of...
Listen, Norro's gone now and I have to take an ad break.
See, you're just anti-Jordan Henderson now.
No,
anyone that like sings his praises, you're like...
I feel bad. I feel bad to Donald Henderson. It's more just Van Dijk is just...
No, you're grand.
Incredible. Would you not have Trent and Robertson even ahead? And Mane ahead of Henderson?
No, for the very reason. It's not about who's the best player. It's like he is Mr. Liverpool, you know? Not Mr. Liverpool, I know that, but like, you know, he is what they are. I think he deserves it for that.
Sometimes the Player of the Year award takes on a funny criteria. Like when Ryan Giggs got it, that was like a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah.
Now he's getting it for being Mr. Liverpool.
Well, yeah, Mr. Liverpool's not right,
okay.
actually, in fairness. But I just think he sets the tone for the football club, you know. And sometimes it's just good for one of the good guys to get it, you know.
For hard work to win.
One of the hod carriers, you know. Sometimes, you know, things don't get done without hod carriers in this world, and sometimes they need a little bit of recognition every now and again.
That is a fair point. Has a goalkeeper won it?
No.
Ever?
No. Neville Southall might have won it at one stage.
With Premier League now.
No, not Premier League level or era, no. Yeah. I think Neville Southall did get it one
I'll check that during the ad break. Yeah. Meanwhile, we're half talking to Mark Lawrenson, half keeping an eye on the game. Still Spurs 0,
Tottenham clipped the post with a free kick. Yeah, right. I know you got to go to a break now. You're looking at me like,
no. They hit the post.
I said we were going to break 5 minutes ago. I don't have to remind you again.
Dele Alli went off injured, I should say as well. So he was about Spurs' most dangerous player. So 1-0 to Leipzig, 79 minutes in the clock. We're back in 1 sec.
Football on Off the Ball.
With Paddy Power, the greatest football partnership since Jeff and Heskey.
The Pat Kenny Show.
On tomorrow's programme, our recent book club on Steph Chow's novel Your House Will Pay, how Irish mathematicians are leading the fight against child abuse in the dark web, is a sedentary childhood seriously impacting our kids' health, and of course, the breaking news.
The Pat Kenny Show.
With Jaguar.
Tomorrow morning at 9.
On News Talk.
Relax this evening and visit itsforwomen.ie. Great value car insurance for those on the go. Get the cover you need day or night at itsforwomen.ie. It's time to own it.
La mer. Summer in France is calling. Sail in style direct from Dublin to France on Irish Ferries WB Yates, the newest, most modern ship sailing our seas. Take the family, take the car, take as much luggage as you like and start your holiday in the most relaxing way possible. Sailing to France has never been easier or more enjoyable. Book now at a deposit of just €100 at irishferries.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for a better price on your gas and electricity? Switch online to Bord Gáis Energy for our best ever dual fuel home energy offer with 27% off electricity and 24% off gas. Switch and save today at bordgaisenergy.ie. Estimated annual bill of €1,499. 12-month discount on our electricity and gas standard unit rates with direct debit and paperless billing. 12-month dual fuel contract. Early exit fee €50. Unit rate, standing charge apply. Prices may vary. Offer valid from today. See bordgaisenergy.ie for EAB info, prices, full T's and C's.
Introducing the new Renault Zoe, Europe's best-selling electric vehicle since its launch. Now with an impressive range of 395 kilometres, meaning you'll have to stop long before your Zoe does. The new Renault Zoe from €26,990. The affordable electric vehicle for every day. Visit your local Renault dealer today. Price excludes delivery and related charges. See Renault.ie.
At Centra, we're bringing a little luxury to mealtimes. Our range of inspired by Centra convenient meals are freshly made in County Dublin and only €5. Why not try our award-winning fish pie with a delicious mix of salmon and cod in a creamy sauce topped with a Parmesan cheese crumb. Centra. Live every day.
At Expert Electrical Stores nationwide, set yourself free with Dyson. Get €50 off selected Dyson V7, V8 and V10 cordless vacuums. And €100 off the V11 Absolute. Get heavy-duty performance and effortless handling. Get your Dyson for less at Expert Electrical Stores or shop expert.ie today. Offers end March 18th. T's and C's apply.
Well, Cheltenham's only a couple of weeks away now, and as all the Irish horses prepare to head over to England on the horse ferry, there's one last big day of racing where they'll get to test themselves beforehand. It's at Naas, and it's basically the Mocks for horses. So join us for Paddy Power Road to Cheltenham Day at Naas Racecourse Sunday, February 23rd. First race is at 2:10. Paddy Power Road to Cheltenham Day. Tickets from naasracecourse.com. Subject to availability. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. See dunlewy.net.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
Welcome back. 83 minutes on the clock. Spurs 0, Leipzig 1. In a way, have Spurs done sort of well to keep this at 1-0?
They haven't really. I mean, Leipzig had a great breakaway chance there when we were talking to Mark.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really flooded, 6-7 bodies forward, and it was a great little dummy by Timo Werner. And the guy was pretty much on the penalty spot with the whole goal to aim at.
That's true.
And he just... Yeah. Great height for Lloris and just to his left-hand side. I mean, that was...
Big moment.
But having said that, Spurs did a free kick, the goalkeeper fingertip save onto the post, and that was from Lo Celso, and here he is again, a little bit further out, so I presume they have to cross this. But, no, he has a shot and goes straight into the wall. So, you know, if that went in, and I'm pretty sure Jose will highlight that afterwards, you know, there was a great defensive display, we were fantastic, and if that free kick goes in, you know, we're in great shape. But yeah. In truth, Leipzig have been in complete control. Not once have I ever seen them flustered or under any amount of undue pressure. And if Tottenham get something, it'll be kind of more luck than judgment, really, if I'm being honest with you. And from the very first minute, they were clinging on. And in fairness to them, they've clung on. But out in Germany, I think they'll get absolutely steamrolled again.
Really?
Yeah. This team is phenomenal, the pace it plays at, and how they move the ball and how they retain the ball. Really, really good side. Very impressed with them.
It would have been good to see Spurs at their best 2-3 years ago against this Leipzig team.
Yeah, but you know what? It would have been nice to see Tottenham with Harry Kane and Son, because at least, you know, from the defensive shape that they have, when they break out, they've something to offer. Whereas at the minute, it's like, it's coming straight back. So, yeah, but I agree. Pochettino's side would have, probably put up a better showing.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Meanwhile, over in Italy, Atalanta 4-1 up against Valencia. So that's a very healthy lead they will take to Spain in the second leg. And it's gone full time at the Etihad. It really is the forgotten game of the evening. Manchester City 2, West Ham 0. That's how that's finished. Rodri with the goal on 30 minutes and then De Bruyne with the goal on 62 minutes. I'm watching Spurs get run off their feet here. They'll do well to survive.
Yeah, but they've got a third free kick now in a very good central position, maybe 6 or 7 yards. I don't know, it's quite further outside really, but it's going to be something like this. The Spurs will score from a free kick.
Yeah.
Because at the minute they're not troubling Leipzig in possession. Probably touch far out again, but Lo Celso more than likely have a goal. But this goalkeeper looks pretty good as well, to be honest with you.
He's made a good save there. Well, it was Noel's text, so I'll finish it. I'm watching Spurs getting run off the feet here. They do well to survive. Wish to Damien enjoy more last-ditch defending for an entire game against the bigger teams, or to get a well-earned draw, or a 3-0 win, never having to do much as a defender.
Oh, I love the tin hat job.
That's how you did.
Oh, I did, yeah. I remember.
Roll up the sleeves, the satisfaction.
Listen, when we went to Chelsea one year under Sam Allardyce, and it was just like the biggest anomaly you could ever they had 32 efforts on goal. I mean, afterwards, I think it was Conte in charge maybe?
They had 32 efforts on goal.
Oh, it was insane.
It wasn't even like you defended that well.
I mean, you thought Atleti were deep last night. We were in the 6-yard box. There was a couple of times I turned to my right, my goalkeeper was in front of me. We were that deep.
And was that the plan?
No, but they were just so good at the time. And afterwards, we were walking up, and all the Chelsea players were like laughing. They were like, "What just happened right there?" And we were kind of laughing as well. And even afterwards, everyone was there going, "Yeah, it's grand that these things happen in life, but you can't." I mean, they're lottery numbers type game. You know what I mean? They're so few and far between.
That's quite nice. So would you walk down the tunnel together and kind of have a little laugh? That kind of thing? Is that what you mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, not that much. I mean, that was an extreme. I mean, that you can't do that. But there have been some good games where you put your tin hat on and you're on your crust today. Like, it's not luck. You really are getting in the way of everything and defending for your life.
Would teams, Leipzig could be in here, out for a corner. Would teams exchange pleasantries after a game in the tunnel, have a bit of a chat about the game? Would you go into dressing rooms very often?
You might meet someone, in the mixed zone, before you're away in or something like that. You might speak to a player and something like that, and someone would pay you a compliment and say, "God, you guys are dogs," or "you dog rough," or whatever, fair play to you. But usually the top teams, the law of averages, if you play them 10 times, they'll beat you 7.
Yeah. And how in the days of the player lounge, is that gone?
I think player lounges are gone now, yeah.
Gone, are they?
Yeah. I mean, there is a family lounge and stuff like that, but players tend not to go in there. Well, I don't know, maybe they do.
Yeah. That's interesting.
What most players have now is they get their own box at the ground, you know what I mean, for their own family.
Okay.
So that's what they'll do. So they'll buy a box off the club, a corporate box
for the year
for a reduced rate, and then their families get to
go in there
on their own. Then after the game, the player can go up there and they can sit and spend time with their family.
Okay, so more money means less need for a players' lounge, I suppose.
Pretty
back
much,
in the old days,
yeah.
Just on Virgin Media Sport, by the way, no Troy Parrott on the bench for Spurs this evening. Brian Kerr on Virgin Media Sport talking about their current lack of attacking options in that context. Have a listen.
Well, if you look at the list of subs tonight, it's actually it's almost extraordinary. It's a home match in the Champions League, and they've only got one fella that can possibly play in the forward line on the bench out of all the subs. It's Lamela. There's loads of defenders. I mean, Ndembele, Skip is there, midfield player, Tantanga, a defender, Vertonghen, a defender. It's Ndoye, another defender. Yeah. It's very strange. I wonder has something happened to him.
He's got lost. Yeah, the Troy Parrott thing rumbles on. I haven't seen enough of Parrott, to be fair, to say with certainty he could do a job for them in the Champions League this evening. I mean, certainly Dortmund last night are putting their faith in young players. It wasn't like Pochettino was saying Parrott was necessarily ready either. He just said it in a nicer way than Jose. Yep. Do you know where Parrott is?
No, because no one's seen him. He hasn't played any first-team football in men's football. I know he's doing great in the UEFA Youth League and he's obviously training with Spurs, but he sees him every day. And you can't say Jose doesn't give youth a chance because Skip's on the bench, Tanganga's played a lot of football this year. So if a player's ready, he will put him in. But Tanganga, his name is
He's 2 or 3 years ahead of
He's
Parrott.
2 or 3 years ahead, and he's so young yet, like, you know, so you just have to trust that he's not ready. And why would you put a player on the bench if you think he's not ready? You're wasting a place. Whereas at least, you know, if you've got your nose in front, you have enough defenders or something like that. But if you do need to change it, you have got options with Lamella and things like that. So look, Jose didn't think he's ready yet, and that's fair enough.
Yeah. Virgin Media have over 400 UEFA Champions League, Europa League, Nations League games live this season. All of these games available to all Virgin Media TV customers who can download the TV Anywhere app and stream the action whenever and wherever they like. Just to finish up on that point, somebody's wondering, Sam Allardyce, still has a really good reputation as a coach. Did you go out as a team under Allardyce and really feel like you knew what you were about and had a good plan?
You knew your job.
Yeah.
You know,
and I mean, was it as negative as people?
No, it wasn't.
Like
it
to
was
portray
just it was just laid out in black and white exactly what he expects of you in every area of the pitch.
Okay.
If you get the ball in this area, or if the opposition in this area, this is what I want you to do. This is where I want you. And you couldn't complain, because if you weren't there, he could come in Monday morning, stick the video on, and go, "I told you 4 days last week that I needed you here when this happens."
Wow.
And you could just sit there and go, "Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that."
Right.
Right. So you know,
so attention to detail.
Always immense. Like It was unbelievable. You know. Now in the attacking third, he was very liberal with players. You know, you could kind of fill your boots for the attacking players and let your natural instincts come through. But like in terms of, you know, I remember we had a massive fallout with Loic Remy, like in one of his first days, like, you know, because I remember we were playing like a training game, 11v11, and it was like, he did say it about 4 times, and then the 5th time, Loic just, you know, I think he wanted him to make a run in behind the left fullback or something, but Loic kept coming to feet. And I think on the 5th time, he just, I mean,
lost
he
it.
Bellowed, like, and then Loic made the mistake of like saying something kind of and pointing his arms, and then that was it. Like, you know, I've told you 5 times, I'm now telling you in a proper manner, and you're what could you possibly have to say back to me?
Yeah.
I don't care what you see or what you feel, like, this is what I want you to do when the ball's in this area of the pitch. And then that was the end of it for Loic, really.
Was it? Yeah, he's not going to hang around. Yeah. That must be a lovely comfort for a team to know what everyone's meant to do, and for it to be choreographed and drilled, and you go out there with that extra sense of, we're going to be okay here.
Definitely.
It's 1-0 Leipzig. We're into added time, 4 minutes of added time. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back, I presume, with full time just gone and some final thoughts.
Off the ball
on News Talk.
Here's a paradox. The statement is false. If the statement is indeed false, it is true. But if it is true, it is false.
OK, Socrates. Well, what about this? These tiny hearing aids are in a massive sale at Specsavers. Why is it massive? Because they're tiny. Tiny hearing aids, up to €400 off.
So, if they were massive, it'll be a small sale?
Yeah.
Genius.
The hearing aid sale at Specsavers. Tiny hearing aids, massive savings. Terms and conditions apply. Sale ends 29th of February. Ask in store for details.
This is Peter Fergus. He's got the right kind of energy for business.
I'm hotel manager of the Lodge at Ashford Castle here in County Mayo. It's a demanding role, but I love it.
Peter knows what it takes to make the business a success.
We aim to deliver a premium experience for our guests with minimal impact on the environment.
And he has a vision for the future.
Our business is powered by 100% green electricity supplied by SSE Airtricity, so our guests can sleep even sounder.
Switch to the right kind of energy for business today at sseairtricity.com. SSE Airtricity. This is Generation Green.
Shake things up this Pancake Tuesday with Oddlums. Try our delicious new lemon and maple flavoured pancake mixes. Oddlums, behind every bake since 1845.
Listen to this sound. That was the sound of a paintless dent removal tool being used to remove an unsightly dent in a silver 4-door saloon. Listen to this sound. That was the sound of a surgeon attaching a pelvic plating system to a cyclist whose pelvis was crushed in a collision with a silver 4-door saloon. Cyclists always come off worse. That's why it's now 3 penalty points plus a €120 fine for dangerously overtaking a cyclist. Always give them space to ride safe. From the Road Safety Authority.
Nearly 25 years ago, an Irish travel company was founded with a mission.
Holidays, where you see more of the sights only locals know. Today, travel department organizes everything on guided group tours of Italy, France, and Spain.
To river cruises on the Danube and the Rhine.
To the secrets of India. And the Far East.
With everything taken care of, from where to go to what to see. Want to see more? Go to traveldepartment.ie. Travel Department. Let's see more. Irish owned and operated.
Bring the day. Bring the new home.
Congratulations, the house is yours.
Bring new life. Bring new beginnings.
Enjoy college. Call us.
Bring the new year. Whatever change life brings, embrace it with a new Volkswagen. Discover unmissable offers and low-rate finance across the Volkswagen range. Search Volkswagen 201 and bring the change. Terms and conditions apply.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
Yeah, welcome back. Last 30 seconds of this game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is Leipzig 1, Spurs 0, and they're also in added time over in Atalanta 4, Valencia 1. I don't suppose you're seeing much Atalanta these days, are you?
No, absolutely none, to be honest with you. I couldn't even tell you what colour they're playing.
Yeah, yeah. So, Manchester City, by the way, 2-0 winners against West Ham, if you're just tuning in. It was Rodri with the goal and Kevin De Bruyne. After 62 minutes, De Bruyne made it 2-0. So that is where we are. To conclude on the Champions League, first week of the knockout fixtures, we have a doozy of a game at Anfield. It's gone full time here in North London, and Spurs have a massive challenge when they go to Leipzig. There's nothing really to suggest on tonight's evidence.
Absolutely nothing, and you can imagine the atmosphere of that stadium is just going to be electric. Spurs haven't got anyone coming back from an injury.
That's the thing, even if it was Son back.
Yeah, there's nothing there's nothing on the horizon for them. It looks like to be a repeat of what happened tonight, and you'd like to think that those guys at their home stadium, with their home crowd, the chance of getting through to the following I mean, yeah, it's done, to be honest with you.
And that, by the way, was a team and a manager in Nagelsmann, who's 32, playing in their first ever knockout Champions League game. And I mean, I think they created 2 chances in the first 90 seconds. They were fine.
They couldn't have got a better opposition, Tottenham. They're obviously struggling massively at the moment with players, and I think it's not a bad result for Jose, considering what he had at his disposal and what he could do. He's just hoping for like one of those lottery number type games I was talking about, when they go to Leipzig, that Leipzig have a day like Chelsea had, we spoke about earlier, and I don't know, just one goes in off someone's toe and like they just get through on penalties. That's kind of where he's at right now. And I think Jose knows that, and I'm pretty sure the board would know that as well, because, you know, when he interviewed for the job, he said, I need to shift these and get these in to do what I want to do. So I don't think anybody's surprised really. We all knew Tottenham were struggling. They were struggling with Pochettino. It's just been made even worse from now losing the 2 players that he's lost and not really having I know they bought the Bergwijn in the window, but you know, ideally he probably would have wanted 4 in the window.
Yeah. Okay, so well, Leipzig look really good. We'll be back for that second leg, I'm sure. Don't forget tomorrow, OTBAM, our daily breakfast show, back 7:30. All our social channels. You can also get it on the Go Loud app. OTB Sports Radio coming at you. The lads have Brian O'Driscoll and Shane Byrne on the show, as well as Kieran Donaghy on the shot clock. And then tomorrow night, Johnny Ward in the hot seat, Dan McDonald with them, Cliona Foley as well. And we'll play some of Graham Souness talking about his 3 European Cup wins. Tom Dunn is on the way next. Good luck.